Hey, folks, is Drake Maverick going to wrestle? And guess who appeared at this week's NXT? Finally, after about, 20 takes, we get that intro. Oh my God. Folks, welcome to the SmackDraw Podcast. It's Kyle and Benji here. Oh, we're off to a smooth start, Benji. Oh my God. Between you not realizing your internet's on and then us can't record a 5-second intro. Oh my God, I can't wait for this episode. Hey,
what
guys.
up?
What's up? Oh my God, we're professionals. We're professionals. Anyways, we are your hosts. I'm your host, one of your hosts, Kyle. You can find me on Twitter at the Kai Tai Show. You can follow the podcast at SmackDraw Pod. I'm gonna let Benji let you know where you can find him and let him introduce himself.
You can. You can. What up?
Oh my God, you guys, what a botch.
You can find me at Calavera Comedy on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. Hit me up on my back page. You know what's up.
Hell yes, you know what's up, folks. We are the SmackDraw Podcast. We cover all your main card WWE shows like Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT. Still the word's out on NXT UK. We still got to sit down and discuss that one. But for the time being, those are the 4 main shows. We also cover all your main card pay-per-views along with your NXT takeovers. And on a special occasion, we might cover AEW, Ring of Honor, some other big event if we just feel like we're up for it. Today, we're going to be covering this week's 205 Live and NXT. Once again, the shows do deliver. This is my 3rd week, I think, doing this, or us doing it, and I'm loving it, man. Loving it. Once again, we are the SmackDraw Podcast. If you caught it earlier, you can follow us on Twitter at SmackDraw Pod, myself at The Kai Tai Show. Benji over here said you could follow him at Calavera Comedy. Our 3rd host who's not present tonight is Mr. Rob Rude. You can find him at 2 words, can't see me. That's 2 TWO and C, the letter C. You guys listening to us on Podbean and Spotify, arguably the best ways to listen to your podcast. If you can, do the show a favor. Show your love, show your support. Hop on over to our YouTube page, type in that search bar, SmackDraw Podcast, 3 words, and go ahead, give us a like and a subscribe to our channel. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, so we can get that custom URL. Once again,
you still got that giveaway going around?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, actually, yeah. Before I start thanking everybody, got a giveaway going. I got some wrestling cards over here, some just cheap wrestling merch. You do have the chance in this pack to get yourself an autographed 40th anniversary Intercontinental Championship card. All right, it's not a guarantee. Might be in there. God, I can't give this away. It's crazy, man. Rob's up my ass about getting these cards, and I can't give them to him. Like, you can't give them to your co-host. Like, shoot, I'd keep them myself if that was the case. But yeah, all you got to do if you want these cards, hop over on Twitter. Just send out the tweet, listen to at SmackDraw Pod. That's it. Or subscribe to at SmackDraw Pod. Just show some support for the channel.
Wow, that easy?
That easy, man. That easy.
Wow, okay.
And like I said, once we get some people participating, even if it is just one person, at the end of the week, we will draw a random winner from that selection. We'll hit you up, and then we'll get a hold of you and figure out how we can send you your wrestling merch. Thank you once again. Boy, that was fun.
Shipping, handling included, right?
Man, I'll cover all of it. Screw it. All right, I'll cover it all. All right, you just watch the show, man. Watch the show, show some love. Suggest to your friends to watch it, man, because, we like the attention. That's all. But
fair enough.
But Benji, we're talking about your shows this week, man. 205 Live, and then NXT. And I gotta say, man, I was weary. I told you I was weary, But now I am 100% on board with the Mike Kanellis, Drake Maverick storyline that we got going.
Just have some patience.
I had to have some patience, man. Yeah, I'm in, though. I am all in on that, bro. That is now one of my top favorite WWE storylines in all the shows. So,
Wow. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man. It's got depth. You know? It's got
You feel
depth.
you can relate?
Fuck you. All right?
So this 205 Live starts off with a recap of what happened in Extreme Rules. We get Gulak going over on Tony Nese, and all is right with the world. We get a promo from Gulak, just telling everybody this is his place, this is his 205 Live, and it's gonna be run his way.
Hell yeah.
The Singh brothers get a little promo, how it's gonna be lights, camera, Bollywood action once they're done with Tozawa. So that's what we cuts into our first match. This is not too much to go around here. The Singh brothers solid as usual, showing you why they won that coveted Bollywood award. Displayed it all on here. Tozawa definitely came in strong. Let's see. There was a post-match beatdown after Tozawa wins, and Brian Kendrick comes in and makes the save. You know, the babyface is clear of the house.
Yeah, the reunition of Brian Kendricks and Tozawa. I'm
Right.
intrigued. I love how you brought it back for me too, because I asked you last week on how these guys had history, and you reminded me that Kendrick was kind of like trying to play the mentor to Tozawa, and it kind of just turned into something else, and I had completely forgotten about it. But now that they have that history, it makes it exciting to see them reunited, man.
It was a mentor and student. Now they're both on common ground with a common enemy.
Continuity, folks. My favorite thing in wrestling. It's rare to find.
But it's always on NXT, on 205 Live. Always.
Yeah, man. Yeah. How do you feel about now granted this is a weird question because you see it all over the time, but you know that Tozawa spot where he runs from the apron and he does the senton over the stairs?
Yep.
How do you feel about spots getting repeated every week and they're supposed to be like big special spots? Like, to me this week I'm like, man, it's kind of losing its muster on me because it doesn't. I don't know. It's a weird gripe. It's weird. I don't want to shit on it because it's awesome.
I think it was one of those things where it was done before the pay-per-view. He didn't have a pay-per-view match, and now it's done after. So I wouldn't go that far to say that just yet. If we see it again for a fourth or fifth time, then could agree with you. But for now, it's still fresh to me. Although he did kind of land awkwardly on this one on his head a little bit.
Yeah, it is a dangerous.
So we'll
spot.
see.
It is a dangerous spot too. Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. Tozawa's extremely talented and underrated, so I'm all for it. I'm all for more people paying attention to what Tozawa's doing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I feel like he was robbed of that cruiserweight title reign that he had because it was all of like what, a week or so when he took the title from I want to say he took it off Brian Kendricks and then lost it back to him just like a week or two later.
Yeah, it was not the longest of title reigns, but he's
that's an
definitely
understatement.
Yeah,
but
he'll Tozawa a way to get another championship for sure.
Yeah, I think so too, man. He's charismatic as hell. One of those guys that seems to have everything except maybe like one piece. And it's not a distinguishable piece either. It's not like he seriously lacks in an area. He seems like an all-around guy, and he's just like a step away from breaking out to being a huge star. Tozawa strikes me as, you know.
Well, they always say your career could change with one match.
And that's true, and that's probably all it is, man. They say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success, you know. But yeah, huge fan of Tozawa. I like to see this win. Obviously, this is leading towards a tag team match or maybe series of matches, maybe 4, to get that trophy back, because at the end of the match, you have Tozawa raising that Bollywood award.
Yeah, it's not a trophy, a Bollywood award.
Sorry, okay. He's raising the Bollywood award. I wonder if he gives it back or if they have a match for them to try and retrieve it. It's intriguing, but this is obviously leading towards tag match or tag series with the Singh brothers, and it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I just saw I just skimmed through a match earlier of Brian Kendricks against Kushida in a Japanese promotion. I don't know if it was New Japan.
Yes.
But it was hard hitting, man. And boy,
Yes.
Kendricks was a good looking dude. I mean, he's all right looking nowadays, but boy, back in the day, he was like a Leonardo DiCaprio looking fella.
Yeah.
Like, he was a pretty boy in the ring.
Like the spunky days.
Yeah,
he was.
spunky days.
Well, now, so then we cut to a match with Mike Kanellis against local talent Jackson James.
Jackson James. Poor guy. You had to be the one to make the appearance after Mike Kanellis said, "Whatever I do next is on your hands," or something to that degree.
The ominous warning. And then he just proceeds to run down and he proceeds to run the train at Jackson James, and it was brutal. It was brutal. It was not safe for TV. Turn your kids away, close their eyes. It was a beatdown. Post match, he calls out Drake Maverick, and he says he could have left anywhere. His contract was coming up.
I like that he talked about that, bringing those real life news stories and making them into actual in-ring stories. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. He honestly he could have gone anywhere to any other promotion as this contract was coming up.
Him and his wife were expected to.
Yeah,
they were expected to.
But he stated, and I quote, "The two reasons he stayed were to prove to his wife that he is as good as he says he is in becoming the Cruiserweight champion, and number two, to kick Drake Maverick's ass." His whole ass.
His whole ass. All of it.
The whole entire ass.
Not just one cheek. He wants the whole thing.
Right, the whole thing. Just eat it up like groceries. So Maverick tells him to look in the mirror, take some accountability, and ask him if he thinks he's better than all the guys that have busted their ass here since the beginning. And so Mike takes the shots at him. Drake Maverick's bedroom issues. Says that he's a GM, not a wrestler. Just really laying into Drake Maverick.
He belittles Drake Maverick, like the way that he's been belittled.
Right.
But then he crossed that line. You never insult a man's wife, especially a newlywed's wife. Oh, said that.
Granted, it was Kanellis wrong? I mean, this is supposed to be your GM. He's over here chasing the 24/7 European Championship. You know, he's not really doing GM things. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, either way, Maverick did not appreciate it. Maverick unloads on him. Maverick can move, man. I never saw him as Rockstar Spud. I never saw him do his thing.
He's quick. However, I will say, as the general manager, this was unbecoming and of a general manager, and I expect some serious fines and tariffs against Maverick.
Oh, got a good question for you. Who keeps Maverick in check, story-wise?
That's the thing. It's a man run with power. The power's gone to his head, man.
But
I expect a
none of the
resignation.
McMahons or like none of them are like, man, we don't want to even touch 205. Like, who is the next authority figure between Maverick and obviously Vince? Like, who's the filter there?
So you have Drake Maverick as the GM, even though he's technically never done real GM duties, but that's fine. And then he reports to Triple H. Triple H is in charge of this.
But they've never had any on-screen interaction.
No.
Triple H hasn't even had anything to do with 205 Live on-screen, has he?
I don't remember if he came out or when he took over, but yeah. So he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but he appointed Drake Maverick as a GM, and I was all for it until it all became about him and his self-glory. All right, Drake Maverick, you're funny, but you're not a GM. You're not my GM.
You're not my GM. Some of the wrestlers react to being signed to WWE, but as personalities instead of actual wrestlers.
Oh, good question.
Yeah, because you have, so far, let's take a look. Because, some can still wrestle. You have, like you said, Drake Maverick physically can still wrestle. Aiden English still technically can wrestle. But then you have the other cases, like Daniel Bryan had to be an on-air personality. You knew that tore him up. and then you got Corey Graves and Nigel McGuinness as well, two other wrestlers forced to retire due to injury. I bet Corey Graves is well comfortable in his position with the company, but I wonder if like Nigel McGuinness still gets the itch, or maybe even if Corey Graves gets the itch too.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, it's an individual thing.
Yeah.
You know, some people adapt to change differently. Others accept, you know, what life hands to them, and they keep going. I have not been in that position, but I would assume that for some, that itch is still in the back of your mind, like what if, what if. But I think as with most things, you know, just time just takes over, and you're like, okay, this is what I'm doing now, and then I'm gonna make the best of it. Because I remember when Corey Graves was first transitioning into becoming a commentator, he wasn't cool with it. He didn't know how to handle it. The guy was like nervous, he was tearing up and whatever.
Yeah.
And he went all for it, learned everything he could about it, and he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Aiden English, that's a weird case because he's still in his prime, you know. But they've put him on that, and you can either cry about it or you can make the best of it. And so far, he's done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Then you have the case like with Daniel Bryan, very passionate guy, did not want to take no for an answer, knowing that he could still go, despite what certain doctors were telling him, other doctors were telling him. It's just a case by case basis, really. So I can't really say to a specific person whether they have an itch or not. But that's what I would say about it.
That's cool. Good insight. All right, so what followed the whole aftermath of the brawl between Kanellis and Drake Maverick? Obviously, Maverick came out on top, had Kanellis in retreat. Where did we go from there?
It's only retreat if you're not planning on taking a step forward.
Oh my god!
So he was falling back. That's all. Just falling back.
Oh,
you put
my
some
goodness.
respect on Kanellis' name, all right?
Oh my goodness! Come on, man. Please intrigue me. What happened next?
So after that, we get a promo from Drake Maverick, essentially saying that he's going to. The Mike Kanellis wants to prove himself. Fine. He's gonna give him a match next week, and if he wins that match, you know, again, he'll have his title shot. But as a kicker, being the general manager that he is, he says that person that you're gonna have to fight is me.
Nice. So next week on 205 Live, we will have the debut Drake Maverick match. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for it. Just for the match itself. I'm excited to see how this is going to play out. Will Maverick abuse his power? You know?
Of course.
Yeah? I mean, how could you not?
It's
man?
now that you bring up the point, it's an interesting dichotomy that we have here. When he's going for the 24/7 title, yet being serious over here on 205 Live. So which is it, Drake Maverick?
Yeah, what if he beats Maverick? Does he insert himself into the Cruiserweight Championship match at that point?
Well,
Does he
certainly
really?
didn't. He didn't insert himself into his wife.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. What's up next?
Now we get the main event, one of the matches of the year. We get Jack Gallagher versus Chad Gable, man. Did you see this match?
Good
Tell me you saw this
match.
match.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I watched the whole thing. What masters of their crafts, like that they really are.
What city were they in?
They were in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Worcester, Massachusetts. Whatever you just said. That place. Okay, so
It's where John Cena's from.
So, if you follow other wrestlers, for example, in New Japan, you have a wrestler called Zack Sabre Jr., and he made an interesting comment about American fans. He said that American fans just do not appreciate technical wrestling. It's not for them. They don't understand it. They don't get it. So, we get this match here, a technical masterpiece, and we get these people from whatever town they're from chanting boring. Y'all chanting boring?
Were they? Oh, I didn't hear that.
They chanted it like 2 or 3 times.
Dang.
The beginning of the match, and I'm like, you mother. And you know what? This is how it always is.
It wasn't even the same
205
crowd that crapped on the women's match either.
No.
This was a different crowd. Wow.
Yeah. So this is the standard MO for 205 Live. You get people like that chanting boring, boring, boring. and by the end of it, they're on their feet, losing their mind.
You have to allow yourself to the process of the match. You know what I mean? Like, not every match can start off like a demolition derby and be wide open and get Lesnar
Bruh.
and Goldberg uh, from their
Yo,
WrestleMania match.
there's a reason. Even the commentator stood up and gave this a standing
Yeah,
ovation.
I
This
saw
was
that.
a technical masterpiece, man. Both of these guys just went at it. Barely took any rest holds, man. Just going at it, counter submissions, just pure technique, man. If you love technical wrestling, if you love just two guys of masters of their craft, you need to see this match.
Yeah, you had Chad Gable win with that. What's the official name of his like rolling through German that he's got? I can't remember.
Is the Chaos Theory.
The Chaos Theory. Yeah, I love it, man. I love that move. I actually back. I think I was playing like WWE like 2K16 or 17, and that was my finisher because I love that damn move, man. I always thought it was the
Yeah.
coolest thing. But yeah, mutual showing of respect after the match. You always like to see that in certain cases. In this case, I believed it was appropriate to show the mutual respect. I think it elevated Gallagher more than Gable because Gable just seems like he can be tossed into that championship picture at any time and he'll fit right in. Um,
I, I I think that it really solidified Chad Gable as a singles competitor and really opened people's eyes, the audience's eyes, to what he can really bring to the table, man. That guy is talented as hell, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
in the main roster,
Gallagher,
it's a
Gallagher,
shame that Vince missed
yeah,
him when he took on Roman Reigns because he had a hell of a match with Reigns
yep,
a couple years
yep.
back, building for that Reigns Cena feud that they were doing.
It's just like we're still stuck in that era where if you look a certain way, or if you're not a certain height or a build, then you're only gonna get so far, you know. Unfortunately, that's how they view the show business aspect of it. So that's just what they're gonna do. As long as he's in charge, and that sucks. But that's just from my opinion. That's how I've seen things go down.
Yeah, I
So yeah,
mean,
it was a huge,
even
huge
Triple
missed
H has been
opportunity.
on record saying that your roster of wrestlers, everyone does have a designated role. You know what I mean? And some of those roles are never gonna be in the main event. You know, and it's a weird thing because you can make arguments. I've heard valid arguments for both sides. The argument that not everybody can be a main eventer, not everybody can brush up on that world championship, and then other arguments like it doesn't mean you take away their opportunity to showcase what they can do and try to win over the fans because sometimes some guys aren't even allowed to get the opportunity. You take guys that are in comedy acts like the club, man, Gallows and Anderson. These are two guys that we've only scraped the surface of their personality. Their personality is as deep as the damn ocean. Like, these guys can win people over with their personality alone. And then you've had wrestlers go on the record. I can't remember who it was, but saying that Carl Anderson is one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Yet they're not going to put him in matches that showcase that. They're always going to play the henchman role in the upper card tag team. You know what I mean? So it is. It's weird. It is.
It's
It's
such an antiquated ideology of show business, isn't it? Like
yeah.
that you have to. It's a certain card. You play it a certain way, and it's worked like this way. This worked for us for years, so why change it? I'm more of the theory of just things worked fine, but why not do something different? Why not expand your possibilities to make more money by having more variety? That's what got you to this dance in the first place, having that variety, having different characters, different styles of wrestling, and then you're playing it safe, playing that cookie cutter role, everything's a certain way, everything's scripted a certain way. If that works for you, it's fine. But as you've seen, ratings dip. People aren't buying that more. People want an alternative. They want something different. And if you're not going to give it to them, they're going to go somewhere else and get.
Yeah, I still say that. I wonder, like, to that point, I felt like we got that when Finn Balor was called up and immediately made the inaugural Universal Champion, I bet that was Vince just saying, okay, fine, let's do something different. And then when Finn resulted it like injured, like I want, like, in my head, all I can picture is Vince saying, I knew it, I told you so, I've always been right, hell no, never again, because
Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, you had Finn decisively beat Roman Reigns. That no one ever beat Roman that clean unless it was Seth Rollins.
Right.
And then you had him go on, and you can chalk it up. That was when Roman was being disciplined for the whole PED allegations, whatever. But then you had him go over Seth Rollins, who was Roman and Seth were 1A, 1B. Those were your champions. So to do Finn, that was ultimately them showing us something we had never seen before, never expected, given NXT guys love, and then with Finn being injured immediately, I in my heart of hearts, I feel like that to Vince was like, yeah, no, never again. Like, I'll never do that again.
To that point, when he was finally convinced to put on cruiserweights, we get the Cruiserweight Classic, and then, okay, it got a lot of attention, let's put it on the main roster. After much convincing, he puts it on the main roster, does it his way, it's not working, and it's like, see, I told you.
Yeah.
People don't care about Cruiserweight, it's not working, right? You know what, you take it back, you Triple H, you take it back, let's see how you do it, whatever. And surely enough, it's been building back up, it's had to shred that bad reputation it's gotten from its initial beginnings. But as you can attest to, you've been watching 205 Live consistently now, and you just tell me nothing but good, right?
Yeah, for me, 205 Live blends in with Raw and SmackDown. Any given week, it can be those, and then NXT is now officially like my favorite show. NXT is my favorite show of the week, and then it's a toss-up between Raw, SmackDown, and 205 Live. All three of those are like interchangeable, but I know the action on 205 Live is going to outdo anything on Raw and SmackDown. I will admit that.
So what did you think of this week's NXT?
We'll get there. Or was it the main? Wait, Chad Gable and Gallagher was the main event.
Yeah,
right?
that was it. That was the transition.
That was okay. For some reason, I thought there was one more match. I apologize.
Seamless transition.
Seamless transition, and I botched it yet again. Only me. Dude, it was good. It was really good. I was looking forward all week to the breakout tournament, and then this one we got a change in tone. We went from the whole like technical masters to just two big brutes that had good personalities, especially this Dexter Loomis character. Boy, didn't they linger on that intro.
By the way, is he not just Orange Cassidy on steroids?
Yeah, I could see that. Give him some aviators.
Right?
But so for one, you kicked the show. So did we start off with any promos? Because I only have the matches. I don't have the promos written down. So the first thing for me is Riddle and Arturo Rios.
Right.
That for me tickled me because I've mentioned it on last week's show. I've watched almost as long as I've watched wrestling, I've also followed MMA, and you had a very MMA-esque match.
Yes.
Rios obviously coming out more like the jiu-jitsu looking guy, and Matt Riddle, the more traditional MMA guy. And they were hard hitting. They tried to mimic the style. I think trying to mimic MMA, it can be done wrong. You saw Kurt Angle try it in TNA back in the day, and a couple other people when UFC was like surging, and it can come across really just like it misses the mark a lot. This was good for me. It was just enough wrestling and just enough MMA. I could not hate on it. The finish was pretty badass. You had Riddle landing a flying knee,
Yes.
which drops Rios, and then in wrestling kayfabe, normally that just leads to like a pin or like the guy gets back up, but this was more the MMA style where a flying knee puts you down, and so you have Riddle jump on him and finish him off with strikes, and have the referee just stop the fight via TKO. One of the very rare TKOs in WWE history. You know another man that had a history of having his wrestling matches stopped via TKO? Brock Lesnar. So it's a reach, man, but boy, I want to see Riddle and Brock Lesnar so
Well,
bad now.
Riddle's been wanting to be the one to retire Lesnar, to shut him up finally. He's been saying that even before he started wrestling.
Yeah, the only way Lesnar's retiring is if WWE runs out of money. That dude,
Yeah,
dude ain't ever gonna retire.
but
Especially
for
because they give him the least impactful schedule. Jesus. Why would you ever retire? You could be 60 years old, work the schedule Brock works. You know?
so for Ruas, we've seen him. I don't know if you caught the WWE Evolve show. He had a match there too.
No, I missed that.
It was a similar match. So the name of his opponent slips me, but they're both well versed in MMA, so it was a similar type of match, just hard hitting, strikes based, MMA based, just similar to the one we saw now.
Also, with these MMA guys, you get better transitions through submissions. You get more
Right.
realistic looking submissions because they're obviously actually trained in them and know how to
Right.
roll with opponents in real life. So when you have those two people, that was one thing I really noticed.
Right.
Matt Riddle and Rios were able to roll seamless from submission to submission.
And I subscribe to the idea again of variety, difference. A lot of people might be bothered by this. It's too much MMA. It's not enough wrestling. I love different styles. I don't. Everyone should be having something different. I don't want to see people wrestle and it's like similar.
Yeah.
This was definitely in Riddle's wheelhouse. You could tell he wanted to wrestle this kind of match. He went in all for it. They were both hitting each other. Just the transitions from submissions. The arm locks, the leg locks. It was smooth, and again, it was just enough. It wasn't like a full on, MMA fight. But like
Yeah.
it was enough. You could tell that they were so confident in their skills, and it showed that it made it believable as a wrestling match.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it still came across as a wrestling match and not like a mock MMA fight.
Right.
Yeah, when you try to sell that you're having a real fight in the ring, you blur
Like-
too many lines. You still need to come across like a wrestling match. But
If I
yeah,
rem-
it was good,
If I
man.
remember correctly, I think Riddle's TKO'd a few people by now. I think Cassius Ohno comes to mind.
This is my first. I think this might be my first Matt Riddle match that I've seen.
What?
Outside of when he knocked
What?
out Chris Hero, or excuse me, God, what did they change his name to?
I love to see that you stay professional and stay up to date on everything as a wrestling podcast. We're talking about Cassius Ohno.
Cassius Ohno. Thank you. I don't know why I still think of him as Chris Hero because I never saw a Chris Hero match. But
What?
the name is so catchy, man.
Ah,
No, I didn't. Look, man, I don't hold no bones about it, man. Like me with the indie shows, I watch the big ones, but I don't keep up with them. So
Bro,
unless
you know
he's
what?
showing up at Wrestle Kingdom or Dominion or the AEW pay-per-views, which I'm gonna watch more. It was
bro, do you know what my first ever live wrestling match was?
what?
It was Chris Hero versus Pentagon Jr.
I think you told me this. Yeah,
Fucking amazing, man.
I imagine.
But jeez. But yeah, that was the Matt Riddle match against Ruas. I love the progression of Ruas. He's definitely come a long way because before he didn't know how to transition his jiu-jitsu MMA into it, but he's starting to find his style and blending that into.
He's gonna need to find a character though. He's gonna need to find a character. Coming out looking
now
like
he's very-
like a jacked up Hoist Gracie is not gonna bold well with the modern, not with the northern crowd, not with like United States and essentially just like Western audience. Like maybe if you guys are holding the thing in Brazil, But like, yeah, him coming out just looking like a big Hoist Gracie, I don't think that's gonna get over with the fans at all. He's gonna need a new character.
Very Steve Blackman-ish right now.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good drawback. Give him some freaking some like nunchucks or something.
Okay, all right, all right, all right.
After the match, we don't get a match with Brock Lesnar and Matt Riddle. However, we do get a big fella coming in with a ski mask on and attacks Riddle from behind. Then
What?
yeah, man, he reveals to be the Mr. Killian Dain, the debut in Killian Dain. I was instantly like I was stoked, and then I was kind of sad because I wanted another Killian Dain behind the scenes segment because he's so good at
Oh,
talking.
yeah.
He's so entertaining. They brawl. Killian Dain, I mean, he owns Riddle for the majority of this brawl. It culminates with a senton at the top of the ramp, and they go through the floor. It's in the thumbnail, so you guys already saw it in the thumbnail. But yeah, that's Matt Riddle being absolutely destroyed by Killian Dain's senton on the top of the ramp. And I'm stoked. So that looks like that's going to be the feud. The only hard part now is who goes over, who wins. Riddle's a star, and so is Dain.
I think Riddle can take a loss here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
mean,
it
it's not
would
gonna-
slow
it's
down the
not gonna hurt him.
argument to get him to that NXT championship.
It's-
Because if he
it's not
keeps
gonna-
winning,
it's
they're
not
going to
gonna
wonder
hurt.
why he's not going for that belt.
I personally don't think L's gonna hurt him here.
No, me neither. Me neither. I'd like to see Killian Dain come out,
Is it
establish
not-
himself
is
as a charismatic monster. I don't want him to be a silent monster. This dude needs to have a mic as often as he beats people down, because he's
I think
awesome.
that we're definitely over the era of the silent monster.
We are not
need
over
people-
that. Go up to Raw and SmackDown. You know?
No, but and look how it's received. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't do well. Lars Sullivan was dead on arrival. Like that whole
No, Jesus.
that
was it?
whole era is just it's done with. People want to see more than that, and
What's
we've seen that.
What's your take
with,
on Sullivan? What's your take on him, by the way? Because you're like Hispanic and shit.
We're gonna get political.
No, I really want to know because, like, you have the argument of all the ludicrous things that came out that he said, but then you have the other argument that it was the better part of 10 years ago.
I've seen
Nothing
the
was
stuff-
revealed to have come out soon, unless I'm misspeaking here. I could be wrong.
I seen the stuff that came up about him. It came up way before his call up. Actually, it's just resurfaced. But,
Yeah.
I seen it growing up in Tennessee. I definitely can say I knew a lot of people that talk like that. I went to school with people like that.
Yeah.
So I could see it, but then it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, he said it. It was 10 years ago. I don't know his current mindset or how he's a person. I do know that he's apologized to everyone, which is cool. But I think that sometimes people say things like that via Twitter or whatever. Those are your words. You own up to them,
Right.
And you apologize, but then you have to, your actions have to follow your words as well.
Yeah.
And if he shows himself to be a stand-up dude and taken aback for those words, then okay, cool. You can't not gonna hold that on him for the rest of his life. But
Because you would
you
think
can't just.
if any like hint of that was still relevant with him, he wouldn't be in the WWE because of like, unfortunately, not due to like their HR policies, but all their sponsors. You know what I mean? Like if there was like any whiff that dude was still talking like that behind the scenes, like
I think the wrestlers would have called him out by now. And everything.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't
Again-
have an opinion. Like
I don't know the guy personally, but I mean
Yeah.
the shit he said is extremely offensive, extremely hurtful.
It was rough, man, hearing some of that stuff. Like even like a lot of like the YouTube like wrestling news stuff, they wouldn't even repeat it because of their show. A lot of them would sum it up and then just say, "Look, if you want to know how bad it is, you read it yourself. We're not even going to repeat it." So I was like, "Oh my
Yeah,
god."
It's not cool, man.
Yeah. No, I was
but,
just wondering, man. I was just wondering if like I don't know. I just had a random thought.
I tend to give people the benefit of the. I mean, not the benefit of the doubt, but I give them a chance. I'll give you a
Yeah,
chance. If you fuck up again, then well, you reap what you sow. But
pretty much, right?
I'll I'll give them a chance. But
That's all right.
again, because I don't know the person personally, so I don't know how to speak on that. But definitely give him a chance, see if he changes. It's hurtful, but then again, like your whole career is pretty much. I don't want to say it's dead, but it's not looking good.
It's not
Um,
looking good.
it's,
It's
not looking.
not. Two
So
injuries, mental health issues, which, by the way, not to down anyone for any type of mental health issues. We've all had brushes with it, and some of us worse than others, you know. But the guys had a bad run. You know, every time that they start to get behind him, something comes up or something happens, and they have to put the brakes on, and you can only do that so many times before the brass are gonna lose faith in you.
yeah, man. Like anxiety is no joke, man. And like
No,
I encourage, if you're going through that, I encourage you to, talk to people, seek help. Don't just let that linger and think like, oh, it's just it'll go away.
no,
Just
talk
look
to
out for
people, man.
yourself,
Talk to
man.
people. If you feel like you need
Yeah,
help, man,
man.
talk to people. Talk to
Oh
us.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist, man, but hey, I'll be your friend.
Talk to us, win some free merch, get some wrestling cards.
Turn this into a plug, Jesus Christ. So yeah, so we have the jacked up Orange Cassidy, Dexter Loomis, versus Mr. Bronson Reed, who's putting Australia Strong Style on display here for the final first match of the NXT Breakout Tournament. Like I said, this was a cool change of pace. This was just two hard-hitting big men. It was shocking to see this Dexter Loomis guy do a flip over the top ropes onto the outside and land on his feet. He's a big fella to be flying high like that. But ultimately, Bronson gets the win with what I'm going to deem now the most devastating splash in WWE. Because that dude looks like he's pushing about 300 pounds, maybe more.
If
And
you've never, if
he
you've
got
never
up
seen,
there.
if you've never seen Bronson Reed or Jonah Rock, as he was called before, man, this guy is the next level, man. You saw the height he got on that.
Yeah, that's what shocked me. Because, so another big guy that's tried a splash, and I don't think has ever been successful, was Braun Strowman. Strowman wouldn't jump up; he would jump out. Like this dude jumped up, and he got some height. Like he flew. It was very reminiscent of Superfly Snuka. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
That's another polarizing figure himself, but regardless, very very reminiscent. Very I mean, for a big guy, he nailed that splash as easy as the Usos, as the
Right.
Usos do. You know.
He landed it on Dexter Loomis, who looks like a character from Tekken.
He does. He has such a distinguished look, man.
The
Like
dude looks like Master Ken.
he does. There's so many people you can relate this guy to. Boy, and he has got like the creepiest entrance, man. He does. They linger that camera on him, and he sits there, stares it
Didn't
down
he-
like Buffalo
didn't he-
Bill from
didn't he
Silence of the
lick-
Lambs.
Didn't he lick Bronson Reed at some point?
I think he did. I missed it, but I saw the way people reacted. I was like, I think he licked him.
Dexter Loomis,
You
you're a fucking weirdo.
freak,
You're
man.
a fucking weirdo, man.
You are a weirdo, bro. Like, and I can't wait to see you again.
As much as I watch wrestling everywhere, I honestly I have no idea about this guy. I don't know who he is. I have not seen him.
Yeah.
So that first kip up he did, dude, it was like
fast.
so fast,
So fast. That dude's got some
Okay.
explosiveness in him.
But he's one of those like Velveteen Dream Sonata type guys. Like they have that explosiveness, but they don't let you just see it just yet. They pick and choose their moments.
Yeah, because like I was touching on earlier, if you put something on, if you overexpose something, it's gonna lose its specialness.
Right.
Now, next up, the next match was the
Definitely.
Kushida Apollo.
You don't want to overexpose anything. Like if you say "I love you" so many times, it starts to lose its meaning, right?
I don't even know how to answer that. Oh my gosh, that was the was the
Let's
Keith
hit
Lee
88 miles.
okay, was the
Like,
Keith Lee promo
yes.
before the Time Traveler?
Yes. Before we hit 88 miles per hour, we're gonna take a step back, go back to the prom under the ball, the dance under the sea, and we're gonna go into a little promo with Keith Lee, the most articulate big man I've seen, I think, ever.
I can't. We sing his praises every week, man.
Bro, this
This guy's
if,
legit.
if anyone ever remembers the X-Men cartoons or watches X-Men or anything like that, this dude talks like beast, man. He's a big ass muscle dude right there, but he's so smart and
He
articulate.
sounds so intelligent.
Right? I'm like, oh, okay.
Like that dude's
all right.
intimidating in every way. Like physically imposing, mentally imposing. Like I would love to pick his brain. He would be one of my top. Like if you had to give me like 5 or 10 wrestlers, I would sit and talk about the business with. I think Keith Lee would definitely be up there.
Hell yeah, man! Get him on the podcast.
Yeah. I bet he's excited to get on the podcast. I bet
He's a big fan.
He's a huge fan. How are you all not watching this when Keith Lee watches our show every week?
He said so. His words.
He said so. He doesn't say it directly. It's always kind of in code. But if you listen carefully,
right? Like if you listen to this promo and you break down the words, you'll see "Smacked It Raw" on there.
There's no it. There's no smacked it.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
I don't even know the name of the podcast.
You always throw it in there.
Because, sometimes you just want to smack it raw, So
Our show's name doesn't even make sense.
Make sure you go to YouTube and smack that like button, man.
Yeah. There we go. That's how you use it. Smack the like button.
Hit that subscribe button raw.
Hit that sub button raw, man. Jesus.
Just let your nuts hang all over it, man.
This show is falling apart, man. We only got 2 more matches to cover. Oh my god, I wish I could go back in time. I really do.
But you don't want to mess the timeline up, so we have to keep going forward. So as we get into this timeline, we're in the best timeline right now. We get Kushida versus Apollo Crews.
Hell
yes, my guy.
Yeah, man.
Dude, what'd you think?
I liked it, man. I really liked it. I did. The match was good. It was like I know you said this is where you and I differ a little bit. It felt like a foregone conclusion, so it took me out of it a little bit. I like to not know who's gonna win, and I knew this was Kushida from the start. And I know you appreciate a match for a match,
when I watch a wrestling match, I don't watch like, okay, this guy's popping right now, this guy's not. There's no way he's gonna win. It doesn't make sense storyline kayfabe vibes. So hold on, let me put my spectacles on. If I do the booking correctly, if I know my booking, then there's no way Kushida's gonna lose.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I know. It's not a thing. It's not a thing I brag about. Okay.
According to my calculation, Kushida wins 99% of the time if he hits his hammer lock perfectly right. Okay.
Oh, I love that flying armbar off the top rope, man. That was pretty badass. And then the transition to the
when you watch a match, don't look at the booking, don't look at that. Watch the match fresh with fresh eyes. You'll appreciate it a whole lot more. Then again, you can watch wrestling any way which you want. But I think that this match really showcased both talents perfectly.
It definitely did a lot for Apollo. It did more for Apollo Crews than he's gotten out of any match in the last months.
He has been so underutilized, and so just put in the background, man, and it's frustrating because this is a cool ass dude. He's good in the ring. I mean, you can pick and choose. Maybe he's. You know what I hate? Here's the hot take. I hate the phrase "he doesn't have the it factor." The it factor is bullshit. All right, that's just verbal gymnastics to say that you don't want to put this guy on. All right, that's bullshit.
You know what I would like to see Apollo do?
Everyone has the it factor.
With
the it factor. I have the it factor. We all have the it factor. Don't feel like you don't have the it factor because you're special.
I'd like to see Apollo one day like snap. That's my favorite thing was when wrestlers lose their cool, right? And the way Apollo Crews is built, I bet he could deliver like to the right guys. He could deliver like multiple power bombs, because that's like pure viciousness. If you sit there and you can power bomb a guy like 2 or 3 times in succession, I bet that would do a lot for Apollo Crews.
I think though that there's more to Apollo Crews than his build, than his athleticism. There's an intelligence there and a ring savvy
He's
that
good,
just
man.
comes so naturally. Up beyond athleticism, beyond that, whatever. He's one of the smoothest guys in there and
He is
smartest
very
guys in
smooth.
there.
Yeah, he's very smooth, man. Like I said, it's he needs more matches like this in NXT. Give him time, and also give him guys that have a lot of hype around them, and a lot of just
I think it was
he
just one
just
of
needs to
those.
showcase what he can do in the ring is what
I
they need
think
to let him do.
it was one of those things that they called him up too quick.
Yeah,
He was barely getting into his groove in NXT, and then they called him right up and had no plans for him.
yeah.
Um,
But it was cool, man. Kushida did win with the flying armbar off the top ropes, which is a thing of beauty. And then as Cruz was scrambling and almost got to the ropes, Kushida transitioned, pulled him back to the middle, and hit him with that Kimura. I can't remember what they were calling it. What were they calling it again? Oh god, he hit him with a Kimura, a step over Kimura. And he got the victory over Cruz. Once again, another sign of mutual respect between the two competitors. NXT seems to be okay with that. Main roster will crap on a lot of these guys for always being friendly, but NXT a lot of these times, it's like you respect the guys that are in there and what they're showcasing, and the crowd really loves and adds to it. So, huge fan of that.
well, it's a good way to have a babyface versus babyface match, which a lot and the main roster we get stuck in these roles, so you'll never see a heel face another heel, a babyface face another babyface, and we don't get these matches a lot of the time. When you do it this way and don't have any shenanigans towards the end, just have it be a clean loss, clean win, whatever. Nobody ends up losing. They both, as you saw in this case, they both ended up looking good. I don't know
Yeah.
why the main roster's so afraid of that. They don't believe in that, but here you can clearly see it works.
Yeah, I think the hardest one to book is a heel versus a heel, because if both heels are good, that means the crowd doesn't like any of them, and doesn't want to see either of them win or lose. Essentially, kind of
No,
nullifies that.
I definitely agree.
I think it's just a harder
really,
one to book.
yeah. Yeah.
But let's go ahead. We'll move on to the main event, which was Adam Cole. Apparently, I thought it was an open challenge, but apparently he had a predetermined opponent to face him for his NXT championship, which would be his first defense since winning it. Who do you pick?
He chose, and you appreciate continuity.
Yes, I do.
Um,
Yes, I do.
he if we go back to the last NXT, he visited a school in Cleveland, in Ohio, where Gargano's from. He went to speak to a lot of these up and coming wrestlers in training, and he chose one of the wrestlers from that program.
This was the wrestler that Johnny Gargano had previously visited the same school and let hold his newly won NXT championship, because Johnny Gargano was champ at the time, and the wrestler holding it was legitimately welling up. It wasn't no acting. This guy, you could tell, is an aspiring star. He was seeing one of his heroes. His hero was handing over his actual belt. This dude was soaked up in the moment, and welled up. Fast forward, Adam Cole had visited the same gym after he had taken the belt from Gargano, told all these guys to give up on their dreams. We fast forward again. Adam Cole has announced that his opponent is that guy who welled up holding Gargano's championship. As he comes out onto the ramp, Adam Cole's on the microphone, a master on the mic. But he tells the guy, I assure you, Undisputed Era ain't here. It's one-on-one. Going to be a fair match. This upstart, who I wish I had the name of right now, but this upstart says, oh, the Undisputed Era ain't here? He's like, oh, man, well, that makes it, what do you say, like, that's easy for me, or says something, he's like, oh, that's too bad, because I brought company. And at that point, I thought that whole gym was going to come out. like the whole gym going to come out and beat down Cole. But instead, it was Mr. Gargano. Johnny came out, man, and they proceeded to have a brawl, and Gargano ends up beating Adam Cole's ass up and down the ring on top of the ramp. The refs come, break him up. Gargano jumps off the ramp over the refs, and then ultimately in the ring, takes out Adam Cole with a super kick, another super kick, and then hits the Gargano escape. And we close out NXT with Adam Cole tapping out, writhing in pain while the refs are trying to pull Johnny Gargano off. So it appears that this would be, if I remember correctly, this would be the rubber match, right? That we're setting up. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we had the match where the 2 out of 3 falls where Gargano literally just could not be beat. You could have ran him over with a bus, and he was not staying pinned. And then, you have Adam Cole, who just won at the last takeover. So I think you said that you'd like to see this be a last man standing match or a straight up match.
I think, the first one was a straight up match, right?
No, the first one was the 2 out of 3 falls. And then the second was a straight match.
Then we had that. You have to have a last man standing match or Iron Man match and have just determine the winner, because I'm pretty sure this will be the last time they face each other for a while.
I'd like to see an Iron Man match or a ladder match, one of the two. Iron Man would probably make the most sense, but Gargano came off all those gimmick matches with Tommaso Ciampa. It feels like you're revisiting old territory. I mean, you can't. The last man standing match, he had that with Ciampa. I don't think they had an Iron Man match, but I could be wrong. So you'd have to tread lightly, so it doesn't seem like you're just recreating the Ciampa feud, which obviously this is the furthest thing from it. But I don't know. Me personally, I'd like to see Iron Man match. Would you you'd say full hour, right? Or do you think like a shorter time?
See, but now I'm being selfish, because I know if it's an Iron Man match, the full hour, it's gonna cut into the time of a lot of other matches.
That's why I say a ladder. A ladder is fun, fast paced, hard hitting, high spots. You can't never go wrong with a ladder with 2 good guys in there.
Let's say a ladder match. I don't think a First Blood works for a main event.
No. When's the last time we had a First Blood match?
But not in WWE. It's been a long time. But when have you had a First Blood main event? That's a good question for you.
That's a good question. Was Stone Cold and
The Rock?
No, Stone Cold and The Undertaker. I believe was a First Blood match. I don't know if that was the main event though.
Yeah, you were in your 20s. I was still young back then.
Yeah. Just slow down with that, buddy. Okay, I was like 11, maybe at best. I was 11. You're like 3 years younger than me. Like, what the hell? Rob's the old guy. All right, come on now.
Oh, Rob is old as shit.
Rob is so old.
So fucking old.
Oh.
Like, for his age, you know what? He's pretty decent on Twitter for his age.
See, you lose any actual genuine. Your compliment loses any like genuine feel when you tack on at his age.
I just think, if you don't know Rob Roode, he's an inspiration.
Oh my God! No.
Yeah, you want to talk shit? That's how you talk shit. Call me sensitive.
Oh, Rob, you the man. I know you don't listen to our show, Rob, but you the man.
You don't. He does not at all.
No, he's like Vince with NXT. You don't watch. Oh my gosh. Hey man.
Again,
go ahead.
This is the guy who loved the Uzi hot segments. Take it forward.
Stop it. Oh.
By the way. Shout out to Lacey Evans and Baron Corbin. Please block him. It would make my year.
Yeah, Rob said he's over you guys. He said y'all are a flash in the pan, man. So you should all block him again.
Yeah, he said y'all are whack. Y'all are bums.
Oh my God. It's like, and you know what? While I'm at it, Baron Corbin, you're a little bitch. You're a pussy. Come at me. My Twitter handle's @2words can't see me. All right.
Oh, okay, nice. Shout out to Seth Rollins for blocking me for no reason. That makes sense. I'm not salty about that.
I'm about to edit all this shit out. This is stupid. Like, this is so stupid. That's our show, folks. Don't forget our giveaway. Get some wrestling merch. Hop on Twitter.
How can they get the getaway? Giveaway.
Just tweet out, listen to @SmackDropPod or something to that degree. Subscribe to @SmackDropPod, something along that. Just at our Twitter handle, our show's Twitter handle, telling people to subscribe or listen to it. I've been Kyle, and I've been really questioning why I do this show with you. But you guys have a wonderful time. Once again, you can hit me up at the Kai Tai Show. I'll let Benji close the show.
What up? Oh, my turn. Okay.
You're not introducing yourself. You're closing the show.
All right, people. You know what it is. This is Benji. Got a comedy. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube. Oh wait, we're not in the introduction. Right, this is the ending. You know what? Because you guys should play it back and watch the introduction. That's why I'm starting over. Huh? That's a little time travel for you. Watch Kushida, watch Apollo Crews. This is 205 Live. This is NXT. This is how we do, baby.
I had the intro.